Hey guys, today we're going to demystify lighting and hopefully help you learn how to choose the right lighting for your home and every space within it. This is another huge subject, and so we're just going to dive right in on this. One little caveat. I am an interior designer, not a lighting designer, but I've had the opportunity to work with a number of really great ones. They've taught me a lot. So why is it so important to understand lighting? Well, there's two main reasons. The first is color, and the second one is intentionality. If you're really interested in how color works with lighting, be sure and check out my video on painting your house because I really go into it in depth. Color is completely defined by the light that it is seen in. For instance, I've got a piece of wood from a wood flooring project. I've got my little trusty light pad here, and we'll talk about that later. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this on now. There's two aspects of this that I can change, but I'm just gonna work on color right now, which is, this is the warmest of colors. And if you watch the direction of the color of the wood near the pad, you can see that the light changes. The color, of course, of this wood sample has changed, right? So this makes the floor look a little bit on the gray side. This starts to get a little bit more warmer, starts to look a little bit more like a natural white wood, okay? And then the second most important reason, like I said, is intentionality. What does that mean? When someone walks into a space, where their eye goes is being directed by the lighting conditions in the space. Specific light showing on perhaps an artwork piece on the wall, or maybe there's only one light in the center of the room. That is the intentionality around lighting. We're kind of gonna touch on the basics here. So there's four basic categories. There's ambient, which is the lighting all around you. It can come from the ceiling, it can come from a window, that's ambient. The second one is task lighting, which really specifically is work surface related. So whether you're in a kitchen, a bathroom, I would consider vanity lighting a task lighting because believe me, it's a task. Or if you're sewing or reading or whatever, you've got that there. Did I just say sewing? Who sews? Anyway, so then there's the third one, which is decorative, which is of course your decorative pendants, sconces, table lamps, those kinds of things. And then the fourth one is specialty, which is the lighting that you use to direct towards a piece of artwork, or perhaps you're washing a wall that's highly textured that you want to feature in the space. Four definitely different kinds of lighting that you want to use. When you look at ambient lighting, kind of comes from the ceiling. A lot of times there's recessed lights, installed lighting in a bathroom. Of course, there's the condition of windows and how you're controlling them as well. You actually have to consider using lighting fixtures that actually give you a 360 of light. Floor lamps that shine up and all around. So you can always take a look at what your space looks like with every light on, and then understand as you switch things off, what changes in the space, what's missing, what becomes dark. And when you do that little analysis, you can begin to understand what sort of holes you have in your lighting plan. So task lighting is things like under cabinet lighting in a kitchen, vanity lighting at a bathroom or a makeup counter or something like that. It can even be a simple reading lamp on the floor, but it's something very specific that shines light down into a surface or an area that you need to see very clearly so that you can perform whatever task you need to do. I hope this was helpful so far, and now we're gonna get started with the decorative. But if you like this, comment down below. So the third one is decorative, and that's everybody's favorite, right? Because lighting at the end of the day is sort of the jewelry, shall we say, of a space. So the great thing about decorative lighting, it can give you a lot of textural play in the space and give you a lot of opportunity for flexibility. Say you want to, have a dinner party and you want to bring the lights down low, but you only want to have focus on the table. Decorative lighting is going to help you with that. And it's the fun stuff. It's the stuff you see. So this last category is the specialty lighting. It's very specific. It's directing your eye to a very specific pinpoint. And in fact, some of the specialty lighting has a flood range that can be literally as small as 15 degrees or as wide as, say, 45. The basic thing you want to understand is, what do you want to light? Say it's a gallery wall, or what do you want to draw the eye to. Not a lot of glamour to it, and it's definitely not fixtures that people will see. So it's more a matter of getting the technicals right on the specialty lighting. The next thing that we need to understand, not just its categories, but what types of lighting we're using. There's LED, there's halogen, there's fluorescent. Ugh, I wish there wasn't, but it is. And then there's one of my favorite, low voltage lighting. The main thing I want to talk about and show you is about LED, because to be honest, LED is sort of where everybody in the world is going. So there's two main things to think about with LED. There's color and there's output. And here's a brick sample that I've used on a project really recently. Let's start with the amount of light, which is lumen levels. So in other words, is the light output high like this? That's very high. Or is it a little bit lower? The second thing is that you've got color range. Thank God. So you've got everything from so I have not changed the lumen level, but I have changed the Kelvin level, which is the color. For me, I like to hit right about here, 3000 Kelvin, something in that range. A good rule of thumb is you don't want to exceed 3200 in your home. And then watch your output as well when you're picking the bulbs and see how bright it goes. If you're dealing with fluorescent lights, I'm sorry, but sometimes they are still found in a lot of warehouse spaces and commercial spaces and things like that. So the thing that I do not like about fluorescent lighting, it's rather low in output. It tends to be on the very blue. Ugh, it's not a good look for residences at all. The two other ones that we do work with here are low voltage lighting. You can control the direction. So a lot of track lighting, which I am a huge fan of in very specific places, so don't judge. And then also directional lighting can use low voltage lighting. So the last one really is halogen, and it's an A lamp, or it's a regular filament bulb that we're all used to kind of remembering. A lot of them now you can see are the antique filament style, so they're longer. But what's nice about them is they tend to burn warmer, and they add a lot of lovely layering to the lighting effect that's going on in your space. All right, guys, so let's get to the fun ones, which are the decorative fixtures, okay? Let's start at the top, which is pendants. You can have everything from a mini pendant, which is a single small light bulb. You can have regular sized single pendants, and those can be great and decorative. There's multi-light pendants, which tend to be 3 to 5 lights, that kind of thing. And then from there, you go to chandeliers. And chandeliers tend to have 1, 2, 3 layers of multiple levels of lights. They can be very grand. They can also be screamingly contemporary. They can be absolutely the most fabulous jewelry in the space. So the next category that I absolutely adore, but it is a little tricky, is sconces. Now, sconces are technically basically just wall-mounted fixtures. So they can be found in a lot of places, like bathroom vanities, or say even a bed, where you're going to be using them as a reading light. The rule of thumb with sconces is pick the fixture first and then locate it on the wall. Because once you cut a hole in a wall, you can't move it. Well, you can, but it's expensive. The next set of fixtures don't actually get mounted anywhere, so you have a lot more flexibility and freedom with that. Floor lamps, table lamps, and accent lamps. There are not a lot of ceiling lights in newer builds, so you need uplights, and your floor lamps will give you your highest lumen levels going up, unless it's actually a floor lamp that is a reading lamp, which has a little gooseneck to it, and that will give you the opportunity to basically use the floor lamp as a task lamp. Table lamps kind of come in two categories. There's the big table lamps that are kind of almost a buffet style. They're important, they're decorative in nature, they're tall. And then accent lights, those are great things. That's always fun. Okay guys, so now it's time to put all of this together, right? So if you have seen my video about choosing your design style for your home, it talks a lot about layering, which is we want to have multiple layers of light in all of our spaces so that we can create a sense of flexibility to change the mood, change the feel. Here's my rule of thumb around that. you always want to look at each space individually and say, do I have 3 sources of light? If you're using your window as one light, take it out, and that means you only have 2, so you need to have 3. For the ultimate flexibility, you want everything on dimmers. Now, I realize that you guys just saw dollar figures run through your eyeballs. It is expensive, but it's really not in some ways, and I'll show you a trick, which is that if you have table lamps and lamps that plug in, you can buy at the hardware store a little dimmer on an electrical cord. And what you do is you plug the lamp into that, and then you control the light level on the lamp from the dimmer. If you're in a space where the only lights you have are above you and they're only on or off, then at night switch them off and then turn on your 3 points of light in your space so that you have the ability to control your light level, as it goes down at night. Always think about what your space's needs are and then use these rules of thumb and go to town with it. Okay guys, thanks for watching on this one. I know it was a little bit detailed, but lighting is kind of complex. So if there's still more questions, be sure and comment down below. I would love that. And as always, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share if you'd like. And I will see you next week.